So today's theme is advanced pawn because, as usual, I have this is probably my weakest category at the moment with a performance of 2444. And I should note that I just noticed that there's this way of changing this graph. So this is only for the last 30 days. If I make it 90 days, the longest possible, the graph actually looks pretty different. But I still think that advanced pawn is probably the weakest category so far for me, no matter how long the time frame that I choose. I can even choose a very short time frame. Anyway, so here's our first puzzle. Hello, Utermaster. Welcome. Hope you're enjoying your Sunday. Today is Sunday, right? Yes, it is. It's beginning to look a lot like checkmate or something. Like rook d1 is kind of a standout move. Not sure it actually works yet, but it's something. This advanced pawn on e4 seems to have something to do with it, according to the puzzle designation. I'm not sure how closely the algorithm adheres to the presence of a feature correlating with the solution. For instance, like if you never use the advanced pawn, does it still flag it as an advanced pawn puzzle? Probably, because it's not curated by humans. So I'm trying not to take the theme too seriously, just considering it, you know, like this is a chess puzzle by any other name. One thing I notice here is if I play like rook d1, and so if they take it, there's knight f2. That's the idea. And if they play something like bishop g2, then I have knight f2. So then I'm winning a queen for 2 pieces, and I have a nice position, I would say. I could also just take on c1 and be up a whole piece, like no imbalance whatsoever. So I'm wondering about bishop h3. Probably bishop h3, I have knight f2, king g2, and then knight h3 or something. Yeah, rook d1, what about knight d2? Good question. Like, that's really where I'm getting at. Like, what if they just ignore rook d1? They obviously don't have to take it. But having a rook established on d1 or something sounds pretty good. So let's say knight d2. I'm wondering if knight f2 can win the game. Like knight f2, king g2, queen h3, king f2, something like that. I think actually after rook d1, knight d2, I might be inclined to play bishop takes e3 because they're still not threatening queen takes d1. So I don't think knight d2 is like a real move. During my analysis of rook d1, I haven't seen any other moves that seem that enticing. Like, I could play knight f2 directly. Maybe I should think about that. Knight f2, king g2, and then, like, I don't know, knight h3. Or queen h3 directly, let's say. I think if I play queen h3, king f2, queen takes h2, rook g2, there's not really anything special. Rook d1 seems like the best move. Just because I'm trying to push myself to play a little bit quicker, I'm going to just go for that as the first move. Okay, that's not right. That's also not right. So at least whatever the right move is, I missed it. It's not like a misevaluation. It could be knight takes h2 in some universe, but I don't really think so. Thank you for following Godchilla84 on Twitch. Your support is appreciated. Yes, and good daytime. Normally, I'm streaming much later in the US time. So I'm trying to mix it up so that I can get get more time for you guys on the other side of the world too. Although I should say I started late today because I had a phone call and that prevented me from getting it going. But you guys can look forward to more that are at like 9:30 Central Time in the U.S. You can suggest moves. I think that's perfectly welcome. I think it's just a group thing. I'm not taking these too seriously. Eater Master's saying Queen F3. With Queen F3, even if they play like Rook G2, is it not fine? Maybe? I'm just playing devil's advocate here because I looked at Queen F3. Knight F2 was already ruled out probably before you joined in. Knight F2, I think they just play King G2 and nothing's really happening. For instance, Queen H3, King takes F2, Queen takes H2, Rook G2. So that you're not winning any pieces. It's also worth mentioning that we are down a minor piece, so it should be something fairly spectacular. That's why I thought Rook D1. The issue with Rook D1 is probably that it's not forcing. Like, they don't, if I play Rook D1 here, they don't have to play Queen D1. If they do, I play Knight F2, King G2, and Knight takes D1 with a winning position. But they don't have to take it. So we're still searching here. It could be H4, maybe H5, H4, like something kind of slow. No. It could be this. Well, Queen F3. We were thinking H3 here was the move. Maybe we have to throw in this in-between move. And if they go here, then Rook D1. We can take it, but then I take this, they go here. And maybe, just maybe, I can take this with the threat of promoting. Maybe that's good. How's this position? Yeah, completely winning for black. So this was it. Definitely more forcing. Definitely involves this pass pawn. Or a far advanced pawn, I should say. It's kind of a weird combination. I was more enticed by the notion of just improving the pieces. Like, this looked super good to me. What's its move? H3? I doubt it. Yeah, bishop H3. But this position, I guess you just remain a piece down. I guess that's the problem. Here I was thinking this. And I guess this isn't good. I don't know, this looks pretty good. It says that black is only better by like a pawn, engine-wise. That the best move is knight c3, giving up another piece. Yeah, that's sad, because this seems like something you could just like quickly play and have a good position. Godchilla, I think it's fine to make suggestions even to a GM, but I'm not a GM. I'm a candidate master. I don't really mind people giving their input in chess. I think that this chess is a rather social game, and it should be, and so it's perfectly good to share some stuff. Okay, so we go on. Of course, there's some etiquette for not, like, screaming an answer, but, like, maybe suggesting a first move as an idea or something, or waiting a little while, like, whatever you want. Yeah, you guys can say whatever you want in the chat. I don't mind. Unimaster said he should have stopped his calculation at H3. Oh, shouldn't have. Yeah, I agree. We had to see a little bit more there. That was the right idea. And welcome, Shy. I don't think I welcomed you yet. So what do we have here? It's black to play. Black stuff's going that way. They have this knight, but the knight is trapped, more or less. I could take this rook. Oh, they're promoting too. That's important. Like, I could take this and probably they promote and I promote. And that makes things somewhat unclear. Oh, there's a funny line here, as they say. Rook takes promote, rook e8 check, king takes e8, promote to a queen, king back to f8, and then queen e7 is mate because they have a queen on g8. So I think this makes sense. Oh, come on, seriously? This is such a nice thing. You really want me to do this? It's so annoying. Defense. Defense. Whatever. I don't know. I like this other one much more. What's wrong with it? If they play king c2 or something, I can just take it, the queen, and then promote to my own queen. What if they go here? What's the problem? Oh, I forgot that the knight is covering the square. I thought this was mate. So they just run away that way. Okay. This is fine. Let's just keep doing some puzzles here. That was just a stupid oversight. Now, if I could do something like this, that would be pretty good. And then give them a check here. It's too bad this bishop's not a knight, because if I put it right here, that would be checkmate. But bishops aren't knights, so gotta deal with that. Maybe we push the pawn. We push it. Maybe we take this one, because if they take with the knight, they lose, so they have to take with the rook. They could also like ignore. Actually, maybe take and they just promote. There's a lot going on here. Probably we need to be super direct. Like, just try to promote on g8, like f7. They make a queen. Oop, I didn't mean to do that. We go here. They take. We take. No, that doesn't make sense. Yeah, I guess we'd have to take this. So they're actually not promoting. So we go here. We're not actually threatening queen g8 though. So let's say they take this to try to promote. It doesn't quite work. So I guess I'd probably have to take back. And I'm threatening queen e5. It's probably a good position, really. Okay, maybe it's f7, and if they do nothing, I play bishop h6 with the idea of bishop g7 mate. Maybe it's more concerning to see. Well, no, if f7, rook f8, I can just take this bishop. I think it's probably f7. And then I just take back on f4. And queen e5 was my idea. Queen e5 and queen takes e6. Should be okay. I don't know, like, so queen e5, king h7, queen takes e6, they make a queen. I take the knight, so I guess if I take on e6, they might play knight g3 check to get a tempo. Rook takes g3, c1 queen, king h2, rook c2 looks pretty bad. So after knight g3, I might just move my king and probably still have a winning position. King h2 seems pretty obvious. So let's say I play king h2. They promote. I don't have any checks, so maybe it's important actually to take this, allow the promotion, and come back. Yeah, it looks like Yeater Master's Variation agrees with what I've played so far. But once we reach this point, it's a little bit tricky. Also, welcome Santosh. Bishop h6 would have been nice, but they took off our bishop. I think it should be king h2. Like, it just doesn't make sense to play another move. And the hard part here is probably to play like queen e7, something like that. Because I think if I play rook takes g3, it's just the same as if I had played rook g3 in the first place. But if it's not super forcing, rook c2 is happening. I guess I'd have to play king g3, and then queen takes g1 is really bad. So, how awesome is queen e7? Maybe we should just get rid of this and then play a good move, like takes, and then queen e7. I think this makes the most sense. Maybe even just take the knight. But if I take the knight, they have a moment to prevent the promotion. I think it's stronger to play queen e7. Queen e7, knight f5, queen takes d8 is a much better version. So, yeah, this looks good. And probably it's a good time to take the rook. But they also have this check, king, probably g2, and then d2 is protected. But they have to spend a moment to get rid of this pawn. So I think this is it. Okay, that wasn't so hard. It's just, 7 moves in a row of stuff. Queen e8 is worth comparing, but I think if you play queen e8 here, then there's this check, and I was thinking d2 here, but this is also becoming a queen. Yeah, what's the engine problem with this? I just figured queen e7 was a stronger move. I didn't really rule this out completely. This is knight f1's a draw, because after king g2, knight e3, and rook takes e8, and rook c8. It says that every move is drawing here for black. Interesting. So let's see the most direct thing. Yeah, and white forces a draw. So my intuition was that I shouldn't allow this position. I didn't necessarily see not this position, this one, or one like it, where the pawn is coming down. And queen e7 is just slightly faster than queen e8 because of the threat of the checkmate. Yeah, I give 2 points for that. Yeah, it's whatever. I don't care. The points don't matter. It's like, whose line is it anyway? Actually, I should rename my stream that. It's the chess whose line is it anyway, where the lines are chess variations. Okay, so they just took something here. Material is otherwise pretty even, but white's king is in the center. I could probably take this bishop, because after rook e8, I could possibly throw in d7, and if rook takes d7, then queen takes e8, so that's pretty good. If they play king takes d7, then I castle with check. And if they move away, I take the rook. So I guess I'm just wondering, if I take this, what happens if knight d4? Maybe like same deal, d7, rook takes d7, and queen e5. Threatening mate. I think I have enough here to play this move. Okay. I swear, I really thought I was about to get 0 points for that. I think when I'm streaming, it's like slightly slow, so the rating that it gets doesn't show up. Yeah, that one was actually fast. That was good. Faster is definitely what I'm aiming for now. I was able to get over 2700 on light chess if I take my time, but I think it's a little bit unrealistic for tournament play. I mean, it's good because it builds your pattern recognition and everything to work meticulously. I definitely endorse everyone doing tactics slowly, but I just think I need different things, like a little variety. Like before I started the stream today, I finished off some problems that I had that I wanted to finish, and I definitely solved those slowly. If you can call it solving. They were hard, so I probably didn't get them right. Okay, so here I can just defend my pawns in various ways. Like I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. I could also start running and see if I can get away with it, but the answer is probably no. Two pawns against rook is, like, if I can get them on the 6th, it's probably winning. So if I go here, and they do something, and then I go here, and then they take my rook, and then I play c7, they can play rook c5. And that puts a damper on the whole thing. So if I start, and they take this, and I play this, it turns out quite similarly. I wonder if I could give up this pawn to get my bishop on b7 and the pawn on c7, because that would also be winning. I could also do this, so like they take, maybe, and I go here. No, that's just too crazy. Yeah, d6 and bishop b5 makes a lot of sense. Yeah, you were probably thinking king f8 and bishop b5, right? I'm not too worried about the king. I mostly want to see if I can outrun this rook. Like, yeah, the king will factor in at some point. That was actually the problem with, like, sacking the bishop to try to get a tempo. It's that they can play king f8 and king e7 really fast. Or king e8, it doesn't matter. Hello, Inner Circle. Welcome. d6 is just the most obvious move. Like, you're taking a step towards promotion. You could always prevent them from approaching you with bishop b5. I don't see how it could really be wrong, except that maybe you need to protect it with the bishop for some reason. Like, maybe it's more important to advance the c-pawn. Yeah, MK says that he likes positional play and hates calculating. I feel like that's a common thing, but chess is a calculated game. You need to do some. In fact, I think you can get really far just with calculation, because, I mean, that was definitely my experience. Like, I didn't know how to do anything except, like, find variations. You know, just see moves. And now for me, the way that I get to improve is, like, I have to work on the more strategic conceptual elements of the game. I think calculation can take you extremely far. So it's rewarding if you can get good at it. You know, I'm not sure I want the pawn on d6 because I'm having a hard time imagining a position where I play d6 and c6 and rook takes d6 is not a good move. I guess, alright, so actually what I need is to play d6 and c6, force them to play rook takes d6, and then play c7 in a situation where they cannot play rook c6. So what if I just push that c pawn straight up? No, rook d5, c7, rook c5. So, alright, so d6 has to be the first move, I'm pretty sure. Rook d5 it is, but I'm not terribly impressed. Bishop b5 is obvious, like you're trying to advance the pawn. They take, you play d7, they played rook to d5. Okay, so probably bishop b5, rook c5, d7, rook d5 is not quite right. Maybe bishop b5, rook takes c5, bishop c. No, it's just crazy. It could be bishop f3, rook c5, and d7. Oh man, maybe it's this one. Alright, what's the difference? I think I didn't fully grasp it. It says they're both better, but bishop c4 is... Oh, actually no, it says bishop f3 is a draw now. So if we go here, I saw rook e5 on then king f8, and if we go bishop c4, it's different. c6. King e8. Well, I'm still not really seeing the difference here. Thank you for following Ultra Suspect YouTube. I mean, both moves control d5, so I'm not sure what you're getting at there. Obviously, bishop f3 controls d5. So let's say I play c6 here. So if they play this, then we actually win. This was kind of the idea. This says rook c5. And why would it be better to have a bishop on c4 here? I envisioned something like this, but this is not working. Okay, so we go here. This is still the most critical line as far as I can tell. If we play this, then we get into the same kind of position. It's not good. It's probably even worse than the other one. Now let's say we go here. This is the engine's recommendation. It's saying just pick a move for black here. So let's say f5. Or maybe g5. It says that this position is plus minus, which is believable, but it just seems very odd for this to be the solution for a tactics puzzle. I think I was just overthinking it. The idea is just to win the f pawn and like keep playing. Interesting, yeah. I thought of it, but I was just thinking like it doesn't really matter, does it? It does matter. Okay, so this is a pawn endgame. The category that I'm working on from the light chess module is advanced pawns. So I was kind of expecting more like middle game positions with advanced pawns, which is why I'm even bothering to remark that this is a king and pawn endgame. This is kind of funny. So it could take them 3 moves to go take my h pawn. It would take me 3 moves to take their b pawn. They would promote first. So probably it's king f4. Like, for instance, king f4, let's just say king f7, king g5, king g7, h5, pawn takes, king f6. Not perfect. I don't really think it's preferable to allow them to play king f6. But if king f4, king f7, I could play king e5. And that's definitely a better version of what we have here. They would play king e7, I play king d5, and now they're much farther away from winning the h-pawn than I am. So, I don't think they really have an alternative. Alright, king f4 was wrong, of course. So it's just going to this race. Now I have to choose which pawn. I should probably take the a pawn and run that one. Like takes, they go here. Just a move there, doesn't matter. This is how things are gonna shake out. If my king was on c5, this would be check. But I don't think my king will be on c5 either way. We both have queens, and I think that it's probably like a better queen ending for white. I don't know if taking this and promoting this pawn is much better. Thanks for following Thick Cheeks 1 2 3 4. Yeah, I can draw more arrows, but I usually only draw the arrows after I have a firm thought here. So my idea here was just that they're going to promote this one, and I can either promote this one or this one. And either way, one of these pawns will still be here, and my king has to be on this square or this square. It can't be on b4 because I only took one of these pawns. And I can't be in front of the other pawn. So these are my possible outcomes. No matter which one I choose, they promote first, I promote second. I don't know like which of these pawns is preferable. I imagine it's the c pawn. And I think I need to avoid getting checked, so I'm not going to put my king here, I'm going to put it here. And this is the answer, apparently. You know, easy stuff. Just kidding. I thought that if I go here, that I can win an extra tempo in this line. I thought king f7, king e5, king e7, king d5 was better. Oh, but then they just prevent our entry, so that was not smart at all. I'm definitely going maybe too fast today. It could also be because it's still kind of morning for me. Anyway, I think I'll probably warm up after I've done a bunch of these. So I'll try to make this a little bit of an extra long tactics stream to make up for that. Yeah, Thick Cheeks. Endgames can be pretty tough. The reason I'm so self-critical for this particular puzzle is I just had to look at it to like see if that was true, and I didn't look at it. I was trying to solve it quickly, and it was not good. Okay, so here they just took on d6. And this is definitely an advanced pawn scenario. These pawns are all advanced for both sides. And I'm playing black. I also get disoriented every time it switches puzzles for some reason. I just never get used to it. Anyway, so the white pawns are going this way. Okay. Alright, so these are all blocked. Okay, cool. I have a pass pawn. That's nice. But I'm also potentially getting checkmated. So it could be the case that I have to jettison this pawn for a tempo to play b2, which guaranteed promotes. And because these pawns are on dark, this bishop will never disturb them, so I'm not really too worried about playing the same color bishop endgame if I can win this rook. But I also don't really have that much of an advantage. Like, I could play bishop d3, they would play bishop d5, and they can solidify. So probably sacking both pawns for a rook is not that wise, even though it wins a rook. It could be that I have to give the bishop and promote like that. That makes a lot more sense to me. Oh, but actually I don't have to move the king. This bishop is here, so that doesn't make sense still. I was thinking like takes, they go here. I guess they could block on the back rank too. I'm very slow to find good ideas here today. Santosh is suggesting g2. Yeah, that was the first move that I thought of as well. I think if they take it, I need to find something really good here. Like, maybe I have to bring my king back. Because if I play b2, rook b6, b1 queen, rook takes, bishop takes. After, like, king f3, I don't see how I'm going to win this position, because they can't attack my pawns, and I can't attack their pawns, but I can't ever build up pressure against e4 or c4 enough to win it. Like, they'll just bring their bishop back to d5 and protect both pawns. I mean, if I want to draw here, I could draw like that. But I'm not sure I want to draw with, like, two pawns for a rook that are both far advanced and just doing well. Maybe bishop d1, that would be crazy. Because then the rook can take and it protects the back rank, so probably it's not that. I don't know, there should be something going on here. Something good. I think I was hasty here. I thought I was getting checkmated with rook h6, but I have king g5, so maybe I could just push this pawn. They might check and play this to control the promotion square. That way they can win both pawns. But maybe I could use that as a chance to play this with tempo. They take and I play king f4, and now I'm gonna win the e pawn for sure, and I could win the game. I thought that was it. It was not it. Okay, so let's say I do this. G2, as we discussed. This. Am I really playing for a draw here? First of all, is this a draw? Yeah, this is a bad puzzle. Like, this is just not winning. How is it possible this is winning? Alright, I'm just going to follow the engine line a couple moves here, because I thought that they would just post up, and you can literally never win the game here. If this is actually winning, this is, like, definitely something to remember, but I really don't think so. Okay, let's say we just, you know, make crop circles here. It's saying to go back. This puzzle's a dud. This doesn't make any sense. Alright, how do I flag this stupid puzzle? No, b2 doesn't win. A draw could be a solution to a puzzle. I'm cool with it, but, like, in that position, it doesn't make sense to me. b2 doesn't win because they can take both pawns and then play bishop d5, protecting the only two weaknesses. I'll analyze it more with an engine later, but like their top line is just moving the bishop back and forth for white, like just not doing anything. You just keep your king protecting your pawn, move your bishop. Like there's just no way that you're ever going to lose that. You can protect your weaknesses twice, they can attack your weaknesses once. Like it's not happening. Even if they attack it twice and you defend it twice, like they still can't capture it. That was a terrible puzzle in my opinion. So this knight is pinned on g5. We are down 2 pieces. But we have some initiative. Like maybe we're playing h4. Rook e8 because they want to use their extra piece, I guess. And bishop g5, king h5. Actually, pawn takes, not bishop. So that we can play queen h7, king g4, queen h3, and then win the game, actually. Let's checkmate. I was thinking take the queen on d7. So they can't play rook e8 against h4 at any rate. That's force mate. So maybe they offer a trade of queens. This is a very similar problem. I think h4 should be it. Okay, so king h5 makes sense. h4, I was thinking rook e8 before mk. Yeah, so h4 it is. And here I was expecting pawn takes to be good, but black has an extra move in this position compared to before. I think what we can do is we can take this threatening queen h7, king g4, queen h3 mate, and they have to defend it by playing rook h8, I believe. And so at that point we can promote, because if they trade queens, they're down. Hilariously down. If they take with a rook, then we take on d7, also winning. Yeah, we just promote here, right? Like, so let's say they take on e8 with a queen. Then we have queen f3, king h4, queen h3 mate. I think this all makes a lot of sense. Hilariously down, as predicted, as nature intended. Okay, so yeah, g4 it was not that time, because they'll play king takes g4. All right, so they just took something, I imagine. Yeah, took a knight. I think it's funny when the puzzle starts with the transition to a pawn endgame where like you really only have one move. I don't think there's any move that makes sense except taking this bishop. Seriously. Okay, now we could play king d4, which allows king c6, which is something of a trebuchet position. But I don't think we have any alternative here. Like if I play king d2, king c6, I'm just going to be playing this position a pawn down, so this is our move. Here, if I play e4, I imagine that at the very least they could sack the pawn back by playing e3 in order to play king c5. So since they can force that anyway, we may as well just play king e5. Here, I don't think any move... Alright, we have 2 options here for the first time. We can take on e6 or we can play king f6. I think king f6 is more promising. But that's just my feeling. It's not based on facts. So... we go here. In 3-4 moves, we create a pass pawn. That promotes in 3 moves. If we take here, or a different color now. If we go here, here, maybe here. 1, 2, 3, 4 moves to promote. It's slightly faster to promote, but in the meanwhile, what's going to happen? So we're comparing these two. Would I rather go take this one, or would I rather do this? I imagine they will play d4. We take, and now it's a race. They are going here, 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 and promoting in 6 moves. We are going here, here, and 1, 2, 3, 4. So also promoting in 6 moves, but we go first. So we promote. Their king will probably not go here. I'll probably go here because no, actually it doesn't. I don't think it matters. I think the key here is that we're going to play a queen endgame, and we need a better queen endgame. Not taking the bishop was the draw, says MK. Interesting. We can go back and look at that at the end. Random guy, welcome. Yeah, I was going to say, MK, they have to have some kind of pawn break, or they could sack the bishop somehow. Yeah, king e6, d4 I think is the only move. I think we have to play king e6 too. Like, it's slightly faster, it's slightly more materialistic. I don't see a real problem with it. Alright, we have to take that, otherwise it runs. Now here, if I take on f5, I was thinking only king c3. I guess they could play king e3, but then we play king e5 and win easily, so I think we do this. Now here we have to choose carefully, not king g6, because they're promoting with check. But I think any square, except for that, should probably be just fine. I mean, like, don't block your own pawn, don't get checked. Don't step on the g file, because when they promote they could check. Well, actually, I guess if they force trade queens... No, it's not a forced trade queen, because our queen will be here, so if we play king g4 they could check and force a draw, because you have to play king h4, check, and back. The reason being, if you ever play king back onto the f-file, they have queen f1 and they win your queen on f8. So we don't go here or here because it's illegal, or here because it's check, or here because it's check as well. So it's really between these two. So if my king is on e5, I might have some attacking options. Or if it's on e5, I have some maybe attacking options, because I would play like king e5, they take this, I go here, they put their king, I don't know, maybe c2, f6, b3, f7, b2, f8, queen, b1 queen, and then I get to do something right now. Their king is on c2. And I guess if I want to attack their king, it might be good to have like king d4 on tap. I might have like queen f2 check. If they play king c3, I have queen d4 check with tempo. You know what? I think it should not be king e6, because the way that you get a winning position is with queen h6. and I don't want to run into queen b6. So it's actually not about attacking their king. It's just to avoid checks. And finally, no, come on, it's so bad. I thought I wanted to take that pawn, so I check here. Am I force trading queens or something? So if they go on the b file, obviously it's trading. Let's say they go here. I go here. This is force trading queens. I should have thought of that first. I thought that if I play this position, I'm better. It is better, but it's not winning. Like, it should trade queens. That was stupid. King e4 is not as good, Godzilla, because when they promote, it comes with check. So far doing very poorly in this category. But all the puzzles are also like 2,600 or something, I think. Something obvious to do. I could do this, sack a pawn, take, play king, play rook b3, rook b5, rook takes b3. But I'm not even sure that that's winning. Like, let's say they play, you know, rook b7, king h7. Oh wait, no, there's a back rank threat. So I go here, they take it, I take, they can't take back. That's interesting. So probably they'll take, I take back, they take here, I take here with promotion threats. That seems pretty obvious. Alright, so they're defending against the promotion threat. Now do I take and take back and make a rook move? Or maybe play a4 so I can create the pass pawn, takes, push. Actually, not even push, they take, I play rook b8. Alright, so I think there's a lot of good possibilities here. I don't know if I should take first or not. So I could just straight up play a4 as well. But I think if I play a4, it's going to be a little bit trickier to get this pawn rolling. If I just get rid of these pawns and play a4, this seems pretty transparent. They go here, I go here, they go here, I go here. Too weak, too slow, something. Alright, so it says a4 was right, I was wrong, I hang my head. Alright, rook b8 was bad. Maybe go here. I thought here they would get behind the pawn, so what's the problem? Alright, so a4 is not a crazy move. I chose to take because I thought that after I do this, it's quite similar. It says white's slightly better here because of... Well, first of all, if they go here, I win. This is a very important detail. Actually, it's just a straight up race. Because if they do that, they lose. And if they push this pawn, I promote first and control the promotion square. Oh, it's check. Sorry, I was trying to just show the idea, but it's check. So it's like 2 moves ahead. So that looked pretty good to me. So what's the problem? I still don't see the problem. It says rook d5 is a problem, so I go here. I guess this is the problem, quote unquote. I guess they're going 1, 2, 3, and 4, taking this. 1, 2. They can protect that with a pawn. So it'd be 1, 2, 3, steal a move, 4, and then I could get here. So I guess I just have a front row seat to losing the pawn endgame. That's not amazing. Okay, so again, this is something sort of basic that I missed. Santosh is asking, who is my favorite chess player? I assume you mean like celebrity chess players. I don't really have a favorite because I don't know them like that. I don't know. I'm pretty equal opportunity. Like I like to watch all the games, and just it's good to learn from people's games. I like to see a variety of styles. I'm not like super attached to one. Random guy asks who I'm rooting for in the Olympiad. I wouldn't mind if the U.S. won, but I also wouldn't really care if they lost. I don't know, like a team with somebody who's kind of cool on it. I don't know. I haven't really thought about it. I know that Gukesh is doing really well, so I think it would be cool to see him clean sweep, just because that would be an interesting tournament result to go look back on. So maybe, I don't know if I'm rooting for his whole team, but I like to see him do well, especially considering that he doesn't get as good press as some of his slightly older colleagues for probably political reasons. And I prefer it when politics stays out of what players we prefer. Anyway, my slanted view on the chess media aside, so the problem is rook d5, and it looks like after a4, there is no rook d5 problem, I guess. So let's say they take this, and I play b3, like in the main line, and they take, and play rook b5. Oh, I missed. They should go here. That's winning for white. So then there's c3. Alright, so we're winning a tempo here somehow, if they take. So king e2 is the only move. That makes sense. Rook b8, top move. Yeah, they should take it. And they're too slow. So how do we steal a tempo here? We play a4 and they take on a4. What if they just play king e2? I don't think it matters what happens here. Maybe play a3. This position looks winning even just like statically. Okay, so we take this. They have to take back. And we can play a3, or maybe even this. Because we are threatening to promote here, right? Play b2. That looks good. So that's what's wrong with, so let's say they go here, then we get a3. Alright, so I guess I would characterize this move a4 as a double attack, whereas this is only creating a single threat that they can manage. After we play a4, they don't have to take on a4. I think this is the detail here. Well, actually, they can take on a4. It's just slower. Interesting. Yeah, we stole an extra tempo somehow with the sequence. Nice. Okay. We can keep going. Yeah, Gukesh is doing really well. And Godchill is asking, what do I think about Magnus's decision not to play? It's entirely his prerogative not to play. I think it's a very sensible decision, given that he's been dominant in chess for like over a decade, and chess is not everything in life. It's just like one thing that humans do sometimes. He probably wants to, you know, spend more time doing those other things. Or if he wants to up his game, then probably preparing for a world championship match for like 6 months out of every 2 years is not the way to do it. So whether he wants to make his chess even better than ever before, or broaden his horizons and do different things in life, this is a very logical decision. And I would say that the format of the World Championship is the whole reason for that. Hello, Niraj, welcome. If the World Championship format were like rapid and not such a big deal, then probably, you know, he would have time to play and maintain World Championship status while also doing everything that he wants to do in life. But chess is super demanding in that way. Okay, so let's see. H5 just happened. Black pawns are coming down the board. We're playing white. We should probably promote this guy. I don't think we should allow them to sack the rook for this pawn. whatever we do. Reason being, even if black just had the c pawn, if white is forced to take with a king on the promotion square, they're going to be really far away from stopping this from becoming a drawn rook versus one pawn situation. So, like, first move, getting ready to promote seems pretty obvious, because if I go like here and they throw a check and I go back, it's the same. And if I go here, then I'm just blocking my pawn for nothing as far as I can tell. So I think this has to be the first move. Now I want to come out here, so if they check me, I can go here. Easy dub, just promoting next move. Now if we have to do something before that, I'm not sure. I think we should probably try to do it quickly. Like, let's say they go, you know, here. I make a queen. They go here. We're totally winning. Like, probably just put the queen here. And then here. And then either take the pawn or checkmate them. So, no matter what, I think I have to play this. Okay, now the real finesse is going to arise when I play probably this move to come closer to the center, but like not really, because they're gonna take and I take with the king, so I'm slightly closer to these pawns. And if they push this, I'm going to attack it. They go here and I get behind it, winning the pawn. But then this initiates another race where they're going to play this move. I should probably bring my king here. They go here. I should take the pawn finally. They play c4, king f4, c5, king f5, c6. No, before they play c6, I'm going to throw in rook d7. Okay, I think that's winning. There's a difference. I have to take with a rook. Okay, so why do I have to take with a rook here? How is the king closer? Maybe I need to get to the f5 square faster? This is probably something that can be generalized to a principle too. It says after I take with the king here, which would be the same if I play king here or here, it doesn't matter. They're playing, it doesn't matter if they play f5 or h3, so they're starting with f5. I was going to bring my stuff over like this. Maybe like here. I think the threat of promotion is probably going to prevent winning the f pawn after f4. Yeah, we probably have to just take this draw. They're not fast enough. Alright, so I was wrong. I thought that my king would be good enough. So we take here. Thinking in like a purely puzzle-centric way, it's actually kind of obvious that this should be the move, because it's the most flexible option. Like, why do I need to enter a line where I'm forced to take with the king when I can give myself more options by going here? Either way, they have to take this pawn. So it was actually kind of stupid to play king b6. Now, the reason this line is winning is more important. I think I understand it. It's like, even though they get their king further access to the center of the board, in the critical line that I calculated, it's important for the king to get here quickly. And this is the fastest way to bring your king to f5. Like, they're going to push this. We check the king in front of the pawn. That's good technique. Get our king in. And now, when they play h3, and we get behind it, they have to defend the pawn, but our king is on the critical square. Maybe even d7 is easier. We're just coming in here. So this is the fastest way to blockade the pawns, which is how you win with rook against pawns. So I should have done this instead of this. Alright, Godzilla, thanks for dropping in. Alright, I'm in check. That's not great. We want to promote. Queen's in a good spot for that. If we step onto the light squares, I imagine that they will do this. Like maybe we'll end up in this kind of situation where they can blockade and advance at the same time. So it might be like check, go here, push that one, go here, queen takes with check. And black is slightly better, but probably it's a draw. So it might be prudent to play something like king f1. So they can't check and control the promotion square. So maybe king f1, queen d3, king g1, queen e3, king h2. No more checks. Alright, we tolerate some checks. Imagine we do something like this. No, then they can play f3, so I have to take it. Check, check. Alright, I don't get any of this. Protected. It's promotion. I mean, perpetual. Just let them have it. Okay. And there's no perpetual here. That was a tricky puzzle. It's a very difficult problem set. I'm only losing like 2 to 5 rating points on each puzzle. So they're all like pretty high rated in this category for whatever reason. Or maybe there's just like a lot of them for my rating point. It's funny how the Lichess algorithm seems to select more for certain categories than for others. And they tend to fill different parts of the rating distribution. So it might imply that certain kinds of motifs are inherently more difficult, which also might mean that they're more worth training. So if we go over this one again, king g2 is not a ridiculous move. King h2 is not either. I guess the important thing is about seeing that there's no perpetual after f4. But the main line that I calculated here was like this. I thought black was slightly better here. And the engine seems to agree. So the key here is actually queen b2. That's pretty obvious because they don't have any checks after queen b8. For instance, you know, they could go here to go for a perpetual or something, but this protects the g2 square, so we can block. So queen c4 was kind of not the right idea of things. Clearly they want to try checkmating us after king f8. might happen. Actually, I don't see mate. Like, I didn't mean to do that. So check here, check here, and there's no more checks. So it's conceivable that one might just go ahead and promote the pawn. That's my only move, so I play it. This is totally predictable that they want to trade some stuff. For instance, like I take, they take, and get some counterplay. I go here. Their only check at that point is queen g5. That's an important detail. And if I play queen g6, there's queen e5, queen f6, then queen takes e2. So it might be reasonable to not take that rook. Actually, no. Queen takes rook, queen takes d8, and then queen e8 is winning. They can throw this check with the queen here. Probably queen e7 is good enough. Because after this check, king g8 with a queen on e7, there's no queen g5 check, no nothing. So, feel pretty good about that. Yay, I got one right. Frabjous day. So we got passed pawns. We can take with either one of these. I don't think it makes sense not to. If I take with this, they might try d5. So I'm more inclined to take this way, which incidentally threatens mate. So probably after I take, well, actually it doesn't matter what I take with in that case, because if they play d5, I have queen f3 mate. So I could entertain either option. The way that they have to answer queen f3 checkmate is with either a pawn move, which probably leads to material losses. For example, f takes, well, if they play h3, I just win on the spot. Just take it. Actually, not on the spot. Like I take, bishop blocks, queen f1, bishop g1, you know, and we can go like that. Or go take some pawns, I guess. So we could do that. They can't move this pawn, not really. Not without losing it. So probably it would be bishop e3. You know, I take and they play bishop e3. But then there's queen f3 check. I guess I'm not seeing why this isn't super easy. Like, why it doesn't matter which one I take. Alright, I actually have to go, it turns out. So this will be the last puzzle. Alright, so bishop f2 it is. And I could check, king g1, and then take on f4. That seems fine. You could also check bishop g1, queen f3 mate, so they have to play king g2, and then queen f3, and then they have king g1 or king f1. I think either way I'm taking this pawn. Actually no, king f1, bishop h4, They can throw some checks, but I don't really care. It doesn't seem that convincing though, so I could also just play e3, bishop takes, and force queen f3, winning a piece with tempo. That's no good. What is going on here? None of the moves that I considered are right. Just take this pawn. Ridiculous. Okay. What is this ending? Does this not win a piece? Black is slightly better because of this pass pawn, I guess. It gives queen f4 as top move, yeah. What happens if they move this? Oh wait, they can just take the bishop. So that makes sense. Okay, so I sold a little bit short here with my answer of e3. A little hasty. Not a photo finish today, but it's kind of the point. It's good to do these really difficult ones and try to get better from it. Hopefully a lot of the more basic concepts that appear over and over again in the variations that I'm seeing will kind of get ingrained, and then I can focus on the more interesting, higher level details. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, guys. You can look forward to a fan face-off next week, I think. You can check my YouTube schedule. I think it's happening on this coming Saturday, so that'll be cool. I'll be giving live commentary for a match between two people who regularly watch the stream. And if you guys want to participate in that, you can join the Light Chess fan page that was created by Blitzical, or you can join the Discord. Just drop a comment on a YouTube video of mine. I'll get back to you right away with a link if you want to join in. All right. Until next time, take care, everyone. Good luck with your chess.